Hello, hello, here we go, it's the Kopite podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Kopite podcast. I'm Mick and joined as usual by Jay Pearson. How you doing, Jay lad?
Buzzing.
But it's not about Jay and that sexual trophy behind him. It's about Wednesday night and obviously Chelsea and the impending Hendo Shuffle. But we're delighted to be joined by LFC Daytrippers Sean. Welcome, Sean, lad. How are you doing?
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much for having me on.
No problem.
The pleasure is all ours, Sean.
Of course it is. But
Not
yeah,
a bad week for it anyway.
Absolutely.
Not a bad week at all.
What a debut.
I know, yeah. It's not a bad debut to have at all. I was going to jump straight into the Arsenal stuff, but obviously let's try and keep it cheery. 64% possession, 24 shots. They scored 2 goals from the most unlikely of sources. We just couldn't fucking. We could have played for 3 days and we wouldn't have scored, would we? So it was just one of them. You get on with it. Fair play to them. That gave them the confidence to then go and beat Man City in the FA Cup. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Positivity. Fuck it. The stop City winning another trophy. So fuck it. We'll go with that. But yeah, Wednesday night, quarter past 8, the big one. Chelsea at Anfield. The impending Hendo Shuffle is coming. How are we feeling about obviously going into that game?
Mate, it's the game we've been waiting for all our lives, really, isn't it? It's the moment we've all been waiting for. And, you know, I've said this many times now, but you rewind the clock back 10 years and it's October 2010 and we're, 3 days away from going into administration. At that point, if you'd have said to us then, okay, we can guarantee you're going to win the league in 10 years' time, but you're going to walk the league, there's going to be a pandemic in between, and then you're still not going to be able to be in the stadium when you do it. You're not going to do it on a Sunday afternoon so you can get pissed all day. It's going to be on a Wednesday night, so it's dead awkward. Would you have taken it? We'd have all fucking said yes. So, for me, mate, I'm just so excited. Sean, what about you, mate? How are you feeling?
Yeah, for me now, this will be my first time seeing Liverpool crowned as champions. I might not look my age, but I'm waiting all my life for this. I've taken stick from all angles, waiting for this day. And look, like you said, 10 years ago, we were on the brink of administration after 2 shithouse owners nearly run us right into the ground. And a decade later, we're on the crest of a wave of arguably the best Liverpool side anyone has ever seen. Obviously, when we got the job done and against Man City, it was a huge relief because we were running away with the league. It looked like it was going to be the earliest league title win ever, and we were making arrangements to head over to Liverpool and be there for parades. And obviously, the whole world stopped, and we didn't know for 6 to 8 weeks whether we were even going to see the Reds again for the rest of the year, or when was the next time we'd see us playing football, whether we were going to be crowned champions. There was null and void. There was sleepless nights. But we're back, and on Wednesday we get to see Hendo doing a shuffle with the Holy Grail. And I heard someone say that league titles used to be Liverpool's bread and butter, and then it became a Holy Grail. So on Wednesday night, I don't even care about the game. I don't care who plays. They can put Akterberg in goal if they want. I don't give a fuck. It's just all about the coronation and these lads having that well-deserved moment on the cup, and I, for one, cannot wait for it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, Mick? Mick, you've seen the podium being built, haven't you, mate? And you just think it's completely different, isn't it? It's not a Sunday afternoon in the middle of the pitch with the shitty little hoardings. It's a big fuck off stage. It's amazing. I mean, it could be the new thing of what the Premier League look at, and they might go, that actually works really, really well. We're going to do that from now on. But Mick, how are you feeling about it being lifted on the cop? I mean, that again, it's extra special, isn't it?
It's as good as it can be in the circumstances, obviously, that we touched on there. No fans in the stadium. You touched on there, Jay. We obviously wanted it to be a Saturday afternoon, and we lift the trophy at Anfield full of all the fans. But the fact that we can do it on the cop, and the fact that they've took these extra steps to make it on the cop with a podium, like you said, it could be the new normal. And obviously getting King Kenny involved and stuff like that, and to see Hendo lift that trophy is just going to be. It doesn't matter if any people in the stadium or not. It's going to be a very special moment. And like Sean's touched on there, bit of perspectives needed. 10 years ago, we were going down the shitter, to be honest, and it's terrific to see the work that Klopp's done. And I've seen a video just before that's been on the timeline on Twitter recently. Klopp saying, I think it was his first interview, saying if I haven't won a title in my first 4 years, I might just go off to Switzerland or something. And he's gone and done it. And I think at the time he was probably ridiculed a little bit for that comment, because at that stage with the players we had, we weren't nearly that close. And the job that he's done to take us from that team to this team is unbelievable, to be honest, the job that he's done. And I was talking to someone at work today about when that man finally leaves, and probably looks like 2024. It's going to be a sad day, isn't it? Because I think at this moment in time, he's the best manager in the world, and I don't think he's replaceable.
Yeah,
I think, like, you look across the world football, like, it's like Jurgen Klopp was born to manage Liverpool. From the day he's come in, it feels like every word comes out of his mouth. It's just perfect, you know. United were trying to get them in, and his wife talked him out because he says, I don't want to manage a Disneyland club. And like you said, when he came in, we were on his arse. I seen a graphic the other day of the 4 starting lineup against Spurs, and it's just a massive eye opener as to how far we've come in the space of 3 or 4 seasons. And Wednesday night it's sort of the end of a journey in a way for this squad, although it's really only the beginning of this squad's cycle of trophies. Like, for the last 2 years, they've went hell for leather to bring this home, and this is all in the image of Jurgen Klopp. And where we'd be without him, I don't know. And like you said, 2024, I don't even want to think about him. And I just, you know what I mean? It's just living the moment. No fans there, obviously, on Wednesday, but this is as good as it gets. Like, people are too busy on Liverpool, on Twitter, picking holes in the squad or having favourite players. Just enjoy it, because the chances are it might never get this good again. Obviously, we will be successful. We're a huge club, but this is probably going to be as good as it gets for us. You know what I mean? So just enjoy every single second. Yeah,
I think it's annoying that this whole thing by the media has been drawn about, obviously, being Centurions and beating Man City's 100 points total record, which is something we all wanted, but it's only something we wanted because we won it with fucking 7 games to go. We had to G ourselves up for something in a way, because we won it so early. And the job that these lads have done the last couple of years, won the Champions League after losing it the year before, and then coming from 1 point behind last year to blowing the nearest competition away. Obviously, that we've touched on that before with the whole City and the ban that got lifted and whatever. And if it comes out that in future weeks that ban should have been upheld, more credit to the job that Jurgen Klopp's done, that we've done it above board legally, and we blew probably one of the best teams you'll ever see in Man City away easily, which is another testament to the job Jurgen Klopp's done, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, definitely, mate. And like I said, I'm just so buzzing for that these boys are going to get the chance to lift this trophy, because like Sean said, they're such a good collective and they absolutely deserve everything, every accolade. At the end of the day, if they've got to, we are going to be doing it in an empty stadium, but listen, it'll be even more special once we're all back in that stadium anyway, and then they're parading the trophy again, because it will happen, albeit it'll be under a new moniker, under Nike, and it'll have loads of different differentiations behind it. But mate, it's going to be so special tomorrow night, regardless of the result. But we do need to put into result, and just going back to a bit of serious now, is we do need a result, because at the end of the day, we still want to beat Chelsea. We want to make sure we keep the Anfield record going. We don't want to lose tomorrow. It's shit that Burnley have taken some points away from Anfield. Could have had that perfect record, but it wasn't to be. But we've really got to be on the mark against Chelsea, because they are flying at the minute.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be a difficult game, and like you said, if we do win, obviously it puts the cherry on the cake, and then tails it up, and then Hendo comes on and lifts that trophy. I think that'll just cap off what these lads deserve on a perfect night. What do you reckon, Sean?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, like the level has dropped, I'd say 5-10% since we got over the line, but it's completely understandable. I think there was some sort of adrenaline dump along the way with the lads. Like I said, it's 2 seasons in the making. This, like, to get 97 points last year and not quite get there, and to go again and put together another high 90-point season, all weather going permitting, the next 2 games. And it would be nice to see a performance on Wednesday, because After the restart, the game against Everton, we all felt a little bit meh, and then we battered Palace, and then it was kind of like a reminder of just how good this team is. And obviously, that was the last game we played before we were crowned champions. It'd be nice to go out on a high at Anfield on Wednesday night and put in a performance, a champion's performance, a crowning performance, and like you said, just tails up, going up onto the gantry to lift the trophy.
Yeah, I think we're going to need, like you just said, they're showing a level of the Crystal Palace game, because I think that was the moment where everyone was like, "Wow, this is the good team." That was probably our best home performance this season as well. We were that good, and I think we need a similar proportion that against Chelsea, because they're no mugs. Obviously, we beat United the weekends, and obviously they're linked with everyone. I've seen something about Kai Havertz today. They've thought they signed Timo Werner. They've got Pulisic. They've got some really terrific players. So under Frank Lampard, they look really good. So we can't take them for granted. I just wanted that, obviously, we've touched on, it's not the most important game. Obviously, the most important thing is Henderson lifting that trophy at the end of the game. But in terms of team news, we seem to say it every week. It's usually just the midfield three. We don't know who's going to start. And obviously, with Curtis Jones getting number 17 today, he's going to be number 17, obviously, for next season. I think it'd be nice to see maybe him come in and start in that midfield today.
I don't know if about starting. I think there's other players that are probably more suited to playing against Chelsea, like the one and only Naby Keita. I think this game suits him massively, depending on whether Chelsea play three at the back again, because the midfield will be flooded. But if he's capable of unlocking those defences anyway. So for me, it would be Gini, Fab and Naby Keita. But it wouldn't surprise me if there is a surprise in there, if that makes sense. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a Minamino in there. It wouldn't surprise me if Ox starts again, or like I said, Curtis Jones. But for me, I would rather see Naby Keita starting in that midfield, just because of the level that we know he's capable of. He needs game after game after game to keep that going. We can't just have him, okay, he played well the other week, then he didn't play again, and it was like, oh, we need Naby Keita in. You put Naby Keita in again, or if you don't put him in again, and then you don't see him till next season, it raises so many questions, and it's not fair on the player, nor is it fair on Klopp. But Sean, I don't think there is another alternative given the way it's been. I mean, obviously there could be James Milner, but are you on the Naby Keita side of that midfield?
Yeah, 100%. I've been critical of Keita in the past, but I think it's just through frustration, to be honest. He's just struggled with injuries, and look, I think the issue with Keita has just been availability. I don't think anyone can doubt his quality, because we've seen it even in his fourth season. We've seen flashes of just how good he can be, and since the restart, there's actually been very positive signs. I think when he's played, he's been one of our better performers. I thought he would have started at Arsenal, but yeah, Gini, Fab and Keita would be nice to see. It's a nice mix in that midfield. Fabinho has been excellent since coming back from restart, probably our best player, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he's one who usually struggles after a break. So it's been good to see him. Where Hendo being out, like you said, Ox has failed to impress really in the last couple of performances. But look, it's hard to be too harsh on any of these lads. Like, they've gone over the line. The level has dropped a little bit. But I'd love to see Keita on Wednesday. I think it's the perfect game for him.
Yeah.
And obviously touching on that midfield, I just wanted to get your thoughts on, obviously, Gini Wijnaldum, and obviously his contract coming to an end. He put a post on Twitter, I think it was yesterday or the day before. And to me, it read like a goodbye post. It was like a signing off winning the league, best way to bow out type thing. I just wanted to see if you thought, obviously, I think he's 29 now, so he's in his prime of his career. Obviously, he's not the most spectacular player, like we all know that, but he's more of a functional player, and he does that left side of midfield position so well, and has done for the past 4 years he's been at the club. I'd be sad to see him go, but if it's Klopp's decision that it's beneficial to the club that he leaves and we bring someone else in, do you think would be a good move for the club?
I'll be gutted if he goes, mate. I really will. He's probably one of the most perfect box-to-box midfielders you're ever going to get. People need to stop comparing him to the Gini Wijnaldum that plays in an orange shirt for Netherlands. Need to just leave that alone, because it's a different format, it's a different formation. It really doesn't matter. But when you think about Gini Wijnaldum, he has been here in the foundations of this side that we have now, and the same as Adam Lallana. When Adam Lallana goes and picks up that medal tomorrow, he deserves that just as much as anybody else, regardless of, oh, he's only played a handful of games. It doesn't matter. 15, 16, Lallana built that foundation, and Gini Wijnaldum joined that in that midfield as well. And he's been one of those players that have built us up to where we are now. And Gini Wijnaldum will still fit into this side, regardless of whoever we bring in. You know, I know you're going to ask the question in a minute, Mick, if we bring in Thiago. There's still a place for Wijnaldum in the squad, but also Wijnaldum could get in a side anywhere around Europe. So if he does decide to go and he goes, right, Champions League, Premier League, Club World Cup, Super Cup, what else have I got left? I might as well go try something else. I'd shake his hand and go, nice one, mate, appreciate it. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of noise around Gini leaving, and I'd be disappointed if he was to go, because I think he's one of the interchangeable cogs in the team, but he's also one of the most important. And if you're looking for a box-to-box ball carrying midfielder, you're not going to get many better in Europe. I reckon there's probably a handful that are better, if even. Obviously, it's frustrating because this seems to have been going on a long time, and it's similar. It does irk me the similar way the Emre Can one did. It wasn't going away, sort of. We just couldn't seem to get it done. And I'm thinking, like, well, winning everything he's playing most weeks, why doesn't he want to sign the contract? Now, I'd rather he was sold this summer than we kept him for another year and he went for free, because he's a player of good value, and if there's a chance to bring in someone like Thiago for that money, well, then we should do it. But I don't think it should be at the detriment of Gini Wijnaldum. I don't think you have to pick one over the other. Like Jay said, I do believe that there's room for both of these players in the squad. There's always room for quality players in your squad, no matter how many bodies you have in midfield. I'm hoping Gini stays. I'm hoping he signs an extension. I hope he get it worked out, because he is one of the sort of commanders in this team. He is one of the leaders in midfield without having the armband. There's many throughout the pitch, and if we were to lose Gini, I think it'd be a big blow going into next season, regardless of who you bring in to replace him, because like I said, he is genuinely one of the top ball carrying midfielders in Europe, and I'd reckon any side around Europe would be happy to have Gini Wijnaldum.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, mate, honestly. But yeah, in terms of that, if Gini was to leave, obviously you touched on there, Sean, we have been linked heavily with Thiago, and obviously there's been a lot of noise saying if we sign someone needs to leave, but nothing to say that someone that leave wouldn't be like a Marco Grujic, who's hardly been in the squad. We might be able to get upwards of 20 million for him. Obviously in this summer, obviously a lot less than we would have if COVID-19 wouldn't have came around. Would you think that would be something that would be more beneficial to the squad, the likes of a Grujic finally leaving, and obviously fresh start for him, and maybe the likes of Harry Wilson, someone like that also leaving? That frees up a bit of the budget. Having Wijnaldum in the squad, like Sean said, is beneficial, and having someone like Thiago who can unlock defences, it makes us a more creative outlet, doesn't it? It does make sense to keep Gini around and also bring Thiago in whilst getting a fringe player. Yeah,
100%. See, that there's plenty of movable parts at Liverpool at the moment. Like Shaqiri, who has done well when called on, he's one who can be moved on. Grujic, look, he's a good player, but is he ever going to be at the level that we need at Liverpool? We don't know, maybe not. And if we can move him on this year, well, then we should do it, because there was plenty of suitors for him. I also think that hasn't been spoke about enough, although it's another player that I'd hate to see go. I think there is a chance that James Milner might actually go back to Leeds and see out his last year playing for Leeds in the Premier League. And if that was his wish, you couldn't deny him it, because Milner came in on a free, owes the club absolutely nothing. He's done absolutely everything that Klopp's and the club's asked for him. Champions League, Premier League, like Jay said. In terms of Wijnaldum, he's won it all. So why not? You can go home and have a swan song at Leeds, in Yorkshire, where he's from. That's perfectly viable. I wouldn't entertain. Look, if you tell me now, look, we're not going to sign Thiago, but Gini's going to sign a new contract, I'd probably take your hand off, because it's the board in the hand is worth two in the bush, is what they say, isn't it? And I'd much rather have Gini around, because we know what he can do for this team. We know how important he is. And even as Jay said, Gini is deployable in other areas. Like you see him for Netherlands, we don't have to compare him to that player, but we can use him in different ways, you know what I mean? So maybe he has even more to offer than he already has.
Yeah, and that's the thing that frustrates me about, especially when we're linked with players, because all of a sudden, Thiago is the name that's getting battered around the Twitter universe, and then all of a sudden, people are changing their profile pictures to Thiago. It winds me up because like 6 months ago, you didn't know who Thiago was. You wasn't bugging Klopp to sign Thiago in January, so you just don't know who he is. Bring back the Marco Reus stage when we used to clamp for Marco Reus 2 years in advance. So that's fine. I don't mind about that because you know about him, but don't fucking ask for Thiago when you've never heard of him, and just because you've gone, oh, we're linked with him, I'll just play FIFA. Yeah, he's really good. Sign him, no problem. I mean, you can't say that player is going to have a bigger impact than what Gino Wijnaldum has. You can't. And don't get me wrong, like Sean said, if he comes, happy days. If he brings Coutinho with him, fine. Not going to argue because there's always room for quality players as well, like Sean said. But yeah, mate, it just needs to calm down a little bit, especially wait till the fucking season's finished.
Yeah,
exactly. Wait till the window's open. You know, people trying to.
We haven't even lifted the fucking toilet. We don't know when the ball's going to be kicked next year. In September, maybe the league starts. Just soak all this in. Like this is title winning week. You know what I mean? This is the week where we lift it, and people are, like you said, that creating these narratives on Twitter that don't really exist. We know fuck all about Thiago coming in. Nobody does. The club don't. All we know is what we have now, and I'd much rather have Gini Wijnaldum around next year, if at the expense of any other midfielder we can bring in at the moment.
Yeah.
Just that constant Twitter thing, isn't it? I understand people want us to progress and develop, and I think people sometimes see it as we need fresh blood to do that, but it's not always the case. Like Sean said, if we can keep hold of Wijnaldum and we don't sign anyone else for the midfield, fine. We've got Curtis Jones, who's happy to sit on the bench. He's not proven, but he's a confident lad. He can pick up the ball and he can drive with the ball. He's a ball carrying midfielder, which obviously like Oxen, we've got Kopite. We've got so many options in there that for me, we do need to strengthen in the next couple of years, but it's not a right now. We need to do it. It's not that imperative that we sign a midfielder.
Just before you move on it, like the thing that drives me nuts is these potential 11s for next year, and people are saying, oh, it's a midfield with Fabinho, Keita, and Thiago. I'm like, are you fucking joking me? Like Jordan Henderson for 20 games this season has been our best player, one of the most outstanding players in the Premier League. He's the club captain. He's led us to the promised land. And these lads want to have him out because he's not 87, 88 rated on FIFA. Like they said, like, it's mad. These people are nuts. They'll never be happy. They love shiny new things. Well, I'll tell you what, shiny, a fucking Premier League trophy, and this team's brought it to us. So just enjoy it. Don't be worrying about transfers or shit like that.
Exactly.
That's the trailer for the fucking podcast. Write what he's just said then. That's it, done. Just fucking send that out and do that to everybody else.
Yeah, so to finish on anyway, actually we'll go score predictions first, and I'll have a little question for you to end it. Score predictions first.
Right, well, every time I've said a clean sheet, we haven't fucking kept one, so I'll just go 2-1 Liverpool.
I had the same 2-1 because I think I said 3-0 against Arsenal, so fucking hell. Go for 2-1. What are you going for, Sean?
I'm going to go loads of goals, 3-2. I think it's going to be mad. They're gun-ho for Champions League and we're fucking brilliant, so let's have it.
Go ahead, sound. Yeah, and obviously, like I touched on before, Curtis Jones, just to finish on, he's going to be number 17 next year, which it would be nice to see, obviously, once worn by Stevie G, legend, Ragnar Klavan, Craig Bell. No, yeah, so it'd be nice to see him with a low number. And it got me thinking about Trent. Obviously, he's number 66. Who knows if that's a superstitious thing that he's won all these trophies with that number? If he doesn't want to, you can blame him if he doesn't want to move away from that. Do you think he might move to a number below 60 next season or the next season?
I don't know. I hope not. 66 is sort of iconic, like, you know what I mean? Trent, a kid from West Derby, coming in, winning the Premier League and the Champions League in his first couple of years, going on to that, like, he's changing the game, really, when we think about it, because people are saying, oh, well, he can play in midfield. Well, he's the most productive right back in the world. Why would you want to change him? I hope he doesn't change the number, because that can be something that he really makes his own, because Trent can go on to be wherever he wants to be now as a Liverpool player. He could arguably be one of the greatest players that ever pulls on the short come the end of his time. So 66 will be synonymous with him. So hopefully he holds on to that. And like you said, Curtis Jones, a young lad, another Scouse lad, number 17, following the footsteps of Stevie, can only be a good thing. And I'm delighted for him. And just let's hope that's a sign of things to come for Curtis Jones, that he features way more heavily next season. Because like you said, he's a confident lad with bundles of ability. And he might end up saving us a fortune in the long run, because he could be a superstar.
Yeah, such a good point there, mate. I'm not even going to add much to that, because that's just the perfect response. It's just, for my OCD, I want him to change it to number 2 because he's a right back, so it just does my head in. But from an iconic perspective, yeah, for me, he's got to keep 66. He's done so much in it now, and you make numbers your own, don't you? 23 is iconic for Robbie Fowler, but then Jamie Carragher took it one step further, and it's been a nobody's number since, has it, with Emre Can and Shaqiri taking over with it. So yeah, for me, just stick with it, Trent. The only thing that does annoy him is get Robertson to change it to number 3, because Fabinho needs a different number now, because that does my head in with my OCD as well.
The only thing is that's going to annoy me is, obviously we do a squad number show on the YouTube channel. So if he keeps number 66, we're not going to get to him until fucking 3 years.
It'll be the shortest show ever, because I think he's the only person to ever wear 66 for us. So it's just like, yeah, Trent, nice one, we all know, and it'll be 30 seconds that show.
Yeah.
Fairness, at this rate, you might get an hour-long special album with all his highlights.
That is true. That's a really good point. Sean, you can join us for that one, actually.
Yeah, 100. Count me in, boys. Count me in. Once he doesn't change his number, if he changes his number, fuck that. There's been some shocking number 2s down the years, and I don't want to talk about Glenn Johnson anytime soon.
No, it's true. We had good fun doing the squad number show so far. Really up to number 4. We'll do number 5 pretty sharpish, but yeah, there were some shocking number 2s down the line, isn't there? But yeah, keep 66, Trent. Don't change.
Well, yeah, we'll finish on that then, boys. Yeah, shoot us a like, throw us a comment about how much you like that trophy Jay's picking up. I got a little picture of it the other day, gave it a little kiss, and I feel better about life since. But yeah, we'll happy to join by Jay as usual. Happy to join by LFC Daytrippers, Sean, and we'll see you next time.